Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's the real GM, Grayson Marshall Jr., and it is Friday. You guys made it. You made it through another week. And we shouldn't look at that like a bad thing. You look at it like a gratitude thing. You made it through another week, another amazing week. Now, you got to ask yourself, did you actually make it amazing? Or are you in a space in your life where you're just getting through? I'm excited to be here with you guys today. This is the end of this week. I may actually do a Saturday. I'm not sure yet. But I'm excited. And we'll be back tomorrow and got an exciting weekend planned. Some more work on the brand is going to be absolutely amazing. So, are you ready? Here we go. This Friday's topic for this edition of Talking BS is simply this: let them know you are humble. Let them know you are humble. I have a new client, and it is Fortress Roofing. You guys, I think, know that. But if you're looking for roofing stuff, get with Fortress. But yesterday I was out with a homeowner, and I happened to be doing a roof inspection with one of the top roof inspection guys in the world. And I'll just call him K for now. And Kay and I were on the roof, and we were talking about the state of the roof and what needed to be done. And I was watching him work in his element. And literally, this was the most amazing thing to watch. Now, you may downplay it because maybe you're scared of heights, or maybe you don't think that's significant, but it's the most expensive part of the house that ever has to be replaced. And dealing with insurance companies isn't the easiest thing in the world. We all know that. But the meticulous effort that he took into caring for this customer and literally looking and analyzing this roof to where it can be presented to the adjusters so that the insurance would pay for it. And I began to watch him, and we began to talk. And he's a recovering alcoholic. He's got a lengthy criminal past. And he's literally come to the full understanding that God is the center of his life. And it was amazing to have this conversation with him. And when I began to give him accolades for his work, when I began to acknowledge his work, he downplayed it. And he downplayed in this respect. He said, it's not about me. It's really about God. And I think that there are a lot of people in the world today who take that same position. It's really not about me. It's all about God. And I think at some point, they truly believe that that's the posture they should be taking. And it's acknowledging that they are nothing without God. And I totally respect that. But I also think that it is a traditional way for people to accept the gifts of God. Let's look at it this way. When God picked you out, he gave you a certain skill set. He gave you a certain talent. He gave you a certain ability. And he only gave it to you. He could have given that to anybody in the world, but he chose to give it to you. Now, why would he give it to you and nobody else? He gave it to you because you're the one who can literally magnify it in the earth and show people how amazing God is through your gifts and talents. And everybody has their own gifts and talents. But he gave it to you. And for some reason, we have been led to believe that when he does that, when he bestows that on us, that we're not supposed to be okay with it. We're supposed to reduce it, level it down, and not look at anything that we're doing, but it's all about God. Well, let me help you with something. I just want you to grab this and marinate on it for a second. God can't do it because he's not here. And he's getting the glory through you. So why are you downplaying what he wants to show into the world through you? Why are you reducing his greatness in the earth? See, you're kind of downplaying what he's actually doing because you don't really feel like God can use you. I think it's amazing when people understand that humility, truly being humble, is using what God gave you to its max, to its best benefit, to showcase God. Now, the problem is that most people, or a large portion of people, will use that to become arrogant or egotistical. So they're afraid of that. But why should you be afraid of what God gave you? It's truly because you don't think you're worthy of it. There's a mindset that we have that doesn't think we're worthy. And again, that is, I believe, a religious overtone. The legalism of religion makes you feel like we are sinners constantly, and that's all we are. And don't get me wrong, we are born into sin, and we do fall short on a daily basis. But the blood of Jesus is there for you to actually have when those things happen. Now, we all know that you can't abuse grace and you can't use it as a license to sin. But at the same time, when you fall short, you do have something that takes care of you. But we've been taught and trained that humility is to make us feel like we're nothing. I'm nothing. No, you are something. And this, again, I believe is a trick of the enemy because you don't walk in the fullness of who you are. How can you put on the breastplate of righteousness? How can you put on the full armor of God and not be willing to stand up and be seen for what it is you're doing? There's a bold stance you should take as a child of God. Not arrogance or ego, but bold. I remember back in the day, if you had that neighborhood family, right? And in our family, in our neighborhood, it was the Fletchers. The Fletchers were the neighborhood. If the Fletcher kids didn't come out, we couldn't play kickball. The Fletchers had a reputation. And literally, you felt good if you were a Fletcher. Some neighborhoods have reputations. And literally, if your neighborhood has a reputation, you rep that neighborhood. You feel good about coming from that neighborhood or that area code. And you wear it proudly. I've never heard somebody coming from a zip code that they repping and saying, "No, it ain't about me, man. It's just about a zip code." That's not how they act. I'm from DC. I'm from the 202. I'm proud of being from the 202. I don't hide from that. I don't reduce it. I don't hide from it. But it's amazing that we will hide from being from the GOD. We almost don't want people to know. It's like we shun away from it. And I don't know why we do that. Well, I do know why we do it. It's because that we don't walk in the fullness of who he is. See, true humility is taking what God gave you and letting the world know and letting the world see everything that you do. You have to hide from it. Now, again, it's not about arrogance. It's not about boasting. But you can be proud from where you come, and you can be proud that God gave it to you. You don't have to downplay it. I hear so many people say, it's really not about me, man. What? It is about you. Here's the deal. What you've been assigned to do can only be done by you. What you've been assigned to do is your purpose in this world. Why would you reduce your purpose? I don't understand that. Why would you take your purpose and make it seem like it's just you just bumped into it? Oh, I just fell into it. I was so bad off, and God saved me, and this is all I'm about. I'm not gonna be any more than that because He saved me. That was enough. I don't know what kind of God you serve, but that's not the God we serve. He's not a just enough God. He's just not. He's a more than enough God. But you think that because of what you've done and where you've been and everything that you've been through, you don't deserve any more than what you have now. Who said that? Let's think about the arrogance of the prodigal son and how he said, "Give me my bag. I'm out." And his father gave him his bag. And he went out and just totally blew it and was so despondent that he didn't even want to come home. He literally was with the worst people in the lowest position. And one day he realized, hold on a minute. This ain't who I am now. I made the mistake. I did this thing stupid. But at the end of the day, this is who I am. He said that the servants of my daddy's house live better than this. And he came back home. And when his father saw him afar off, he literally broke Jewish tradition by running towards his son. That was breaking Jewish tradition. That's an illustration of how God acts when you finally decide to get it right. And he doesn't stop showing the world what he can do. He doesn't just want you to come back just to be average. He never made you average. Why do you think the second plan would be average? He didn't make you to be average. So why are you accepting average? It doesn't matter what you've done. If you repent, change your ways, there's no rule for, okay, well, you messed up. Now, if you come back, you can only be average. If you come back, you can only just be average. Show me where that is in the book. I told you stuff we come up with that makes absolute no sense, but because other people have maybe led you to believe that, because other situations in your life make you feel that way, because you consciously did some stuff on purpose and ended up in the places you were in, and you feel like, man, God rescue me. We have so many people out there that literally say, man, if God to get me through this one, I'll do something different. Well, that's not the God we serve. He wants you to get through it, get it right so you can go and thrive. See, all this humility stuff, all this downplay, that's literally the enemy. That's the enemy seducing you into, I just made it. I'm just gonna be happy I'm here. That's not God. I'm sorry. And I gotta believe that at some level, that's a disappointment because you don't fully believe in who and what God is. God is not a God to just get by. He's not. He doesn't want you to just get by healthy. He doesn't want you to just get by monetarily. He doesn't want you to just get by physically, emotionally. He doesn't want you to just get by. He's Jehovah Jireh. He's God, our provider. He doesn't provide just for you to get by. You do that. Your mindset does that. Your belief system does that. Your tradition does that. What you believe about yourself does that. I've said this before and I'll keep saying it again. We're the only creation of God that does less than what's required. I don't think there's an eagle in this world that says, you know what, I'm only going to fly here. This is all I deserve. Yeah, when you hear it like that, it sounds crazy, doesn't it? We have to get to a position where we understand that humility is not reduction to piety. Humility is, you know what, God, if you chose me to do this, I don't know why, but you know what, I'm going to do it to all I got because that's humility. He didn't have to give it to you. And again, we all know about the parable of the talents. God didn't give you what he gave you to bury it. He gave you what he gave you to multiply it. So why are you burying it? Why are you putting it down? Where'd that come from? of rehabilitation that are in place that only want you to get by after a mistake you made. It is a mindset that you're in. Now, the choices you made have made the next chapter harder. They've made it more challenging, but not impossible. It's all about the way you think about it. That's your BS. You don't have to just be satisfied. You can be amazing no matter what you've done. But if you really want to let them know you're humble, start maxing out what you do. And when they see you standing on top, when they see you flourishing, when they see you coming back, you say, you know what? This ain't nothing but God. But I'm not hiding what I'm doing. I'm out here. I'm showing my spirit of excellence. I'm operating in that with no hesitation and no regrets. No, this is what I do. And I do it to the best of my ability. And I want to do it better than anybody else. I've always said this about myself when it comes down to encouraging people and motivating people and inspiring people. I don't want to do it like anybody else. And for a long time, it was a struggle and challenge because I saw other people seemingly gaining ground and awareness and notoriety. And they really weren't saying anything. They were effectively doing their jobs and they were motivating people. I really want to be a life changer with some true, competent, and conscious connection that allow people to be better than you were. Jesus said, greater works than these shall you do because I go to be with my Father. He's saying that what I'm teaching you, you should do greater works. Now, come on, y'all, let's really keep this 100. He was literally healing people, performing miracles, and the list goes on and on. And he said, greater works than these shall you do. That's not asking somebody to be pious. That's asking somebody to be bold. See, again, we have been under the impression that boldness and confidence is arrogance. And it can be, but it can also be godly. David was godly when he went to go meet the giant. He told Goliath straight up, I've come here in the name of the Lord of hosts with these stones. He ain't need but one for Goliath. He was bold about that thing. He said, look, I ain't afraid of no giant. What's up? Let's do this. I got God with me. He didn't say, you know what? I'm going to just go and try. It ain't about me. So, you know what? I know it's a little bit challenging, but it's not about me. I'm just going to go. He didn't say that. He said, man, give me that slingshot. He said, where's that uncircumcised Philistine? Let me go take him out. Because I know I got God with me. The Hebrew boys in the fire, they weren't worried about Nebuchadnezzar. They said, look, we're not bowing. I need a bill. So whatever, put us in the fire, bro. Not consumed. They were, well, you know what, we'll go in there and we'll just kind of sit. What, are you kidding me right now? I'm trying to get you to understand that the definition of humble that you all have embraced is keeping you from being everything you want to be in God. God does not want humility in the way that you learned it. He wants humility in the fact that you know it was God and that you keep God first, but you go do it bold as a lion and you go do it with confidence and faith. That's what he wants. That's the humility that's godly. So I want you to do this today. I want you to put a mindset on to let them know you're humble. And how do I do that? By walking fully and boldly in the things of God. Let them attribute it to what they want. Let them define it how they want. But if you know yourself, you're not worried about the crowd noise. Shut the crowd noise up and go do what you're supposed to do. Let them know you're humble. I'm the real GM, Grayson Marshall Jr., and it's been a Friday edition of Talking BS. I just appreciate you guys so much. You know that. My new opening for the show will be on Monday. Look forward to that. It is fire. It's going to be awesome. You know what I feel about Manicure Apparel presenting your best self. Go to manicureapparel.com and get something for your man. And ladies, we just launched the first one. Evie posted it yesterday, and we're going to be doing a real blitz on it. It's a Proverbs 31 woman knows it starts with men. You're going to love that shirt. A woman's line with men, a men's line with women in mind. It's going to be awesome. So have a good Friday, everybody. Remember, this life is amazing. Drink it in, and when you drink it, do not overthink it. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. Run this back. I guarantee it'll bless you. Share it with somebody. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all social media, and get ready for the full-blown podcast on all your podcast stations. God bless you, everybody. Peace.